hot. Yeah.
On the FM.
On the FM.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. We're Steve Hughes and I talking a little radio.
Yeah.
A little later business. He's from Kern County Raceway Park, coming off what was technically the season opener, and I tell you what, it was a great crowd out there at Kern County Raceway Park for the season opener. An enthusiastic crowd too. People who were I think just happy to be there, happy to see some racing, happy for a great night of perfect weather. Really,
it was great racing weather, and it was the NASCAR start to the season. So for us, having the opening race for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, the Napa Auto Parts 150, our NASCAR late models and our NASCAR spec mods, it was a great opportunity to kick off the year in a big way. And the fans came out and supported the track, and we certainly do appreciate that. And I got to give a shout out to all of our staff as well that did a great job out there. I think the evening ran very smoothly, and it was just all around a great night, great racing.
Yeah, it seemed like it was really my first experience there with the racing, but it just seemed like a really if I'm just a casual fan, there's plenty of places to get food, there's plenty of places to get beer. It just is a kind of a nice, relaxing. You're not in the sun, you're in the shade, so it's real nice.
That 4-story building throws a big shadow
It does.
on the front straightaway, and we moved the cars up into the shade for the autograph session. The NASCAR K&N Pro Series West drivers were up on the Coca-Cola family patio area for their autograph session, which was a big hit. Our Thursday night kickoff party at Chewy's was
well attended.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was well attended, and thanks everybody for coming out. And they had a chance to win some tickets, listen to a great live band, and see some great hot rods and hang out with some race car drivers.
Yeah,
it was a great all-around weekend for us.
It really was a nice event. I was really pleased with how that turned out. Just real quick, let's just give you guys are not racing this weekend. It's Easter weekend, but here's the schedule the next couple weekends out. We got on April 11th, we've got the late model twin 35s, NASCAR Super Stocks, NASCAR Mini Stocks, Legends, which might be one of your bigger classes, right? I mean,
that's
Legends, Legend debut.
INX Legends it's their season debut for us. Looking forward to that class growing. There's some veterans and some young up and comers in that division. Tyler Bannister moving up into the Legends from back-to-back Bandolero championships.
Right.
So happy to have him in there. The Just Drift. That's something I want to talk about. Not something you see in Bakersfield ever.
Okay.
Just Drift will be making their first of 2 appearances at Kern County Raceway on April the 11th, and the WRA vintage race cars. So these are cars from the 40s, 50s, and 60s that are going to be out there putting on an exhibition race. So it's going to be a great weekend.
Open wheel cars or?
Yeah, open wheel. Yeah. There's going to be some midgets. There are going to be some super modifieds that you're going to see out there. A lot of cars with some great history behind them. The Vukovic car will be there. It's going to be a great night to see those vintage race car drivers out on the track.
If anybody hasn't seen those cars from the 40s and 50s, they're actually pretty cool looking. They're kind of artsy in their own way, and they're pretty cool to look at.
They really
to
are.
See them run and fired up. If somebody's got an offie engine, that's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night for us.
Now,
weekend off for Easter, and everybody enjoy themselves with their family.
Just Drift's going to go around the smaller tracks, or how does that go?
Well, they actually set up a course there, kind of in the infield or right around our quarter-mile track, where they don't go roundy-round. I mean, they're going to do figure eights. It's going to be a big, long, lots of tire smoke and RPMs, and really hitting the red line on those little imports. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Nice. Then coming back on the 18th, we have our SRL Southwest Tour DC's RV 100, SLR S2 Tour cars, NASCAR Spec Mods, Legends, Corvettes of Bakersfield and Central Valley Corvettes. That's the KUZZ night, so that's going to be an exciting night too.
Yeah, presented by KUZZ, teaming up with DC's RV Center. DC's RV Center will be the title sponsor of both SRL races at Kern County Raceway this year. So thank you to Don and his group over there at DC's RV Center. Spec Mods, Legends, and the Corvettes of Bakersfield and Central Valley Corvettes, they're going to have a car show. And this year we're moving the car show from the parking lot up to that area where we used to have the temporary grandstand. We put some pavement down there, so it'll be an all-night car show for all those Corvettes, and they're actually raising money for some local charities through our race program, which is Racing Accelerates Community Excellence. They're selling tickets. It's a 50-50 split with the Corvettes of Bakersfield and Central Valley Corvettes.
We have a few photos here. Tom Mock was very busy over the weekend with just kind of showing some of the behind-the-scenes work that went on Thursday and Friday. I guess mainly Friday, and just showing some of the testing that was going on. Just to see these NASCAR guys, it was just amazing. Who is this, by the way? Who is this one that got on the wreck at the end?
That's Mrs. Bihar.
Yeah,
driver of the number 33 machine, Nicole Bihar.
She got tangled up in the end, right?
Yeah, tangled up, and there was some controversy there. She claimed, that basically, even on her interview trackside, that she just got dumped in turn number 3 by the 61 of Brett Thompson. So
and she wasn't actually. She had quite a she had to come from the back of the field and was in the top 10 and had a pretty good drive.
One of 2 lady drivers in the opening race for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West.
I think we've got some more photos there. Let's go through those, John, and just show a couple of those other ones that we have.
Let's talk about tech for a minute.
Yeah.
You want to talk about tech. Okay, the race lasted about, 2 hours?
Yeah.
Tech was about 17 hours in total over those 2 days.
Wow.
These guys go over these cars with a fine-tooth comb, man.
They're measuring it. I think you can see there's all the things that are going to go into the preparing for a race. All the tires. This was a great
body
scene too.
templates,
Yeah.
transmission. I mean, everything. Every inch of that car is inspected.
This is what's cool. This is if you go back one more photo. This is one of our other 2 women that are in here. This photo to me speaks to the fact of what the maturity of Kern Canyon Raceway Park can look like when you have all those haulers in the infield.
It sure did look nice there. We had 29 cars show up for this race. We lost a couple in practice and qualifying. Started with a full field plus 1 of 27 cars, which
Nice.
is 1 short of our record for the K&N Pro Series West, 28 on October 26, 2013.
Let's go to the highlights, John, and we'll talk about this young lady here in a minute. But John, let's go to the highlights, and Steve's is going to kind of stop us here when he wants to. And
Where are we looking over here? Well,
yeah,
we kicked things off 2015 season with the NASCAR Spec mods, and
it was interesting.
It certainly was. There you see a car getting a little loose. Mark Allen in the 20 trying to get back up to the front there, and then as they entered turn number 3, this is where it all happened. Car gets sideways. You see Matt Lewis there. 2 cars going to the wall, and here comes that 20 car. 1, 2, 3, and then a car up and over. Mike Williams rolls down the banking. Everybody was okay. That was the good thing. But calamity corner in turn number 3 on lap number 1 for the NASCAR Spec mods. Tore up some equipment there. So we cut it down from 50 laps, with the 4 cars down to 25, and Johnny White wasting no time going to the front. He gets underneath Brock Thompson here and just sails away with this one. Thompson gave him a little bit of a challenge there for a little while, Mike. You got something to add?
Yeah, and I think they were talking the day before that Johnny White might not run that race because he wanted to concentrate more on. He might just run a few laps because he wanted to really focus on the West race. But he's in there. He's starting at the back of the pack, and all of a sudden there's 4 cars. It's like, let's go out there and win this deal. And it's only so. I think that was certainly worked out in Johnny's favor.
Certainly did. He had a great run in the K&N West race.
Any concerns about that Spec Mod class? I mean, with so many cars being knocked out, I mean, how many do you think will come back, or anybody gone for the rest of the year?
Yes, of course. The drivers immediately went to work on getting their frame straight, and there's a couple that we're probably not going to see back this year that were completely destroyed. But we're meeting with the drivers today out at the racetrack, and hopefully we can get some of the problems solved in that class and make sure that we can move forward with the Spec mods.
Do you think it's a problem or just a weird circumstance? I mean, that's got to be the biggest accident ever at the track.
I don't think it's a problem, but it was a big accident. Now we may have to change a couple of things scheduling wise to give these guys a little bit more time to get their cars fixed. When you crash with a crash like that, especially on asphalt with the speeds that they're carrying, you can do some serious damage to your race car.
Right.
So we want to make sure we give them full advantage. Like I said, it's still in progress right now with the meeting today with our race officials and the drivers. Hopefully we can work some of that out today.
All right, let's take a look at the late model footage now, and perhaps one of the most dominating performances of the weekend was by Eric Richardson.
Well, this was a great race. The initial start saw Chris Dalton in the DC's RV Center number 5 get out to an early lead. He's going to lead lap number 1, and then here comes that red number 44 of Eric Richardson starting to make a move, and you can see him on the inside right there into turn number 1. This is the fastest part of the racetrack for these late models, and then it was all about 2nd through 5th because Richardson was dialed in on Saturday night.
He was amazing.
And this is where we're going to see a lot of the great racing right here with the 22S of Buddy Shepard, the 51 of Racing Vernon, and that red number 4 of our defending champion, Brian Richardson. My wife made her way out to Kern County Raceway, and she said, Steve, the most exciting race for me was that NASCAR late model race, because for all 75 laps, those 3 to 4 cars were battling for second, but Eric Richardson comes out on top. A great way to start the season for the number 44.
Go ahead and pause that again. I thought one of the things I think we learned from this was Racing Vernon came up, he's only, 16, 17,
If he's that.
If he's that. Yeah. Apparently only has one T-shirt, because I saw him on Thursday wearing the same shirt he took his picture in when he came over here.
Yeah.
But boy, I tell you, he was with them,
right?
And right up against him. Buddy Shepard was kind of back a little ways, and Buddy made a late run at him. But the kids did some interesting things.
Certainly did. We had the youngsters finishing second and third, and then our defending champion Brian Richardson fourth, and Lance Wilson rounding out the top 5 in the first NASCAR late model race.
And Chris Dalton was making his debut in that race, and I know they've had some struggles kind of getting that car figured out a little bit.
Debut as a full-time driver.
Yeah.
He has raced a couple of times in the NASCAR late model division, but yeah, full-time ride this year with DC's RV Center, and yeah, they're. I wouldn't say they're struggling. I think it was a good.
I guess trying to feel their way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, 75 laps is a long way.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the drivers said. I mean, they came out and green flagged the entire 75. So we saw guys coming out of their cars with their hands cramped up. Your fitness level is really tested on a big 75 lapper like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the most understated part of racing is that fitness level of just driving the car and all the things you go through. I was wondering if Eric Richardson was he was so far ahead, though, and so dialed in that I wonder if he was like on the phone, like doing some work and stuff.
You're talking like he's a lap ahead. He was only like 1.8 seconds was the finish.
It seemed like it was like a mile.
Well,
he was a couple of seconds ahead, and those second through fourth cars were basically separated by one total car because
you could have thrown a blanket over actually second through fifth late in the race with Wilson making a run. And what happened with Lance Wilson is when he finished the race, when they measured those tires right at the end of the race, he had 0 stagger in the car, so that tire grew a little more than they had anticipated. So that's what caused his handling problems on the 15 car.
All right, let's go to the big race of the night, the big show.
Yeah, wow, 27 cars, opening night, opening race for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, Napa Auto Parts 150. Dalton Sargent from Boca Raton, Florida, set the pace. He qualified quick and led for about the first 17 laps. We had an early caution, which I think we're going to see here in just a second, but he was able to shoot out in front of David Mayhew, the local racer, dropping into second. And there is Brandon McReynolds in the Napa Auto Parts number 16 car, blows a motor on lap number 5. And here's the thing, Johnny White in the 31 car involved in that spin all the way to the back of the pack. So we pick up the race on lap number 10, and it looked like David Mayhew was going to be, confident with second place until the outside of turn number 2. He makes a pass. Nobody goes the outside turn number 2, especially in the big heavy cars, to make a pass, and he did, and basically dominated the first 75 laps.
That was an exciting sequence there when he made that pass. I remember seeing it. I was watching and just incredible.
That was on lap number 18. This is the halfway break, and then leading him out of the halfway break is local David Mayhew. And James Bickford in the Sunrise Ford Interstate Plastics number 6 had dropped into second, and here comes the big move by the number 55, the just turned 17-year-old Dalton Sargent to the inside. And they were going to see a little bit of a nudge, pretty aggressive move in turn number 3 to take over the lead. And from that point on, there's the crash with Nicole Behar and Brett Thompson. The entire rear end of that machine taken off, brought out a red flag and a final green flag run here. Actually, the Napa Auto Parts 150 went 160 laps, and there was Mayhew's chance right there in turn number 2. Tried to get Dalton Sargent loose, but could not complete the pass, and Sargent with the win in the Napa Auto Parts 160, the opening race for the K&N Pro Series West.
And that was that's a great length of a race too. I mean, just a perfect length and a perfect night for you guys.
Yeah, 6 cautions, which we didn't anticipate. We thought that that the cautions were really gonna be the story for this race
because of all the rookies, right?
With 11 rookies in the field, Mike. And I just want to compliment you on your prediction last week. You said it's either going to be Dalton Sargent or David Mayhew. About at the halfway point, I thought it was going to be either Grayson Raz, maybe Noah Gragson in the 7 car was was going to start making a move. Actually, the fastest lap of the race was run by Noah Gragson in the 7 car on lap 160. So if it would have gone to maybe another 10 laps.
Same team as Dalton Sargent's one-off ride for Jefferson Pitts. And I tell you what, you can't discount that Jefferson Pitts, this team this year. Very, very smart guys.
Yeah, their commitment
good
to
equipment.
Their commitment to winning is going to be a strong one. And now Sargent goes back east, and now they've got Grayson Raz in the 7 car and Noah Gragson. And Noah Gragson in the 27. So
I think that's going to be a tough team.
They're going to be the
throughout
ones to
the
watch.
year.
Yeah,
I get this suspicion from the two of you that we're gonna hear this Dalton Sargent kid's name quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. He's definitely an up and comer. I can predict seeing him maybe in the Truck Series starting next year. Maybe even do some Xfinity racing as well.
Wow,
he's really adapted to the heavier cars pretty quickly.
Well, he certainly he did a great job of holding off Mayhew there at the end. I thought Mayhew's gonna make a move, and then sure enough. He just held him off every time.
Mayhew's a very respected driver out there, and he did give him a little nudge, on that final restart, but just was unable to make the pass those final few laps.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, great stuff as always. We appreciate you for being here with us, and we'll be back. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So. I'm glad you came out, and I do want to say that I did lose the bet. You were there for more than 2 hours. I think it was more like 6 hours that you were at the track. So thanks for coming out.
We had a great time,
us.
and it was a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to hopefully get out there on the 18th and see that SRL Tour race. So looking forward to that. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back with the Bakersfield Speedway coming up next.